this is lesson 34, session 3. We will continue to work on putting shapes together. And for our first problem on the first page, again, we will not be able to do this because we do not have shapes. If you have shapes at home and you're able to, that would be great. It says to put some cubes together to make a new shape and then tell how many faces it has. We're going to skip that. So we're going to go right to the model it, and it says you can make larger shapes from smaller shapes in different ways. Okay, so if you look at this right here, they took a square, they put it on top of another square. When you take two squares, you get a rectangle. Then they took that and they did it here. They took all these squares and made them all rectangles, and then they turned it into one big shape. It's kind of like when you're playing with blocks and you're making new shapes. So it says you can make a larger rectangular prism using, what are these shapes called? These smaller shapes called? Using cubes. So when they took all those cubes together, they made a very large rectangular prism. Okay, number 1 says, how is your way like the model it? Again, we couldn't do our way here because we are not at school with our cubes, so we can't answer that question. Okay, so we're going to go to number 3, the apply it. And it says, how many cubes make up this shape? You can't see the whole shape, but you can see right here that this has one cube and another cube underneath it. So that's 2. This has a cube and another cube underneath it. So that's 2, and then 2 more is 4. Here's a cube and another cube underneath it. So we have 2, 4, 6. Well, we can only see one here, but we know that there's another one underneath it. So we're going to count by 2's because these are in stacks of 2. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8. If you had this in front of you, you would be able to see all of that and see that there are 8 cubes that make up that shape. Number 4, circle the shape you could make with 2 cylinders and 2 cubes. Okay, so let's read that again. So circle the shape you could make with 2 cylinders, so we need to make sure the picture has 2 cylinders in it, and 2 cubes. Okay, here I see 2 cylinders, and I see those cylinders stacked on top of 2 cubes. In this picture, I see 2 cubes, 1 cylinder, and 1 rectangular prism. So the directions say circle the shape you could make with 2 cylinders and 2 cubes. So we know that that would be this right here. That makes that because it has 2 cubes and 2 cylinders. Okay, then on the back side it says draw a line to match each set of shapes with the larger shape you could make with them. Okay, so over here you see that you have a cube and a cone. Here at number 6 you have a cylinder and a rectangular prism. In number 7 you have a cylinder, a rectangular prism, and a cube. The directions say to draw a line to match each set of shapes with the larger shape you could make with them. So with our cube and cone, we're going to look here. Does this have a cube and a cone to make a larger shape? Does this have a cube or a cone? Does this have a cube or a cone? The bottom one does. So we're going to draw this to here because they took these 2 shapes that are not together, they put them together to make a larger shape. Okay, next we're looking for a cylinder and a rectangular prism. When I look here, this has a cylinder and a rectangular prism. So that one went there to make a larger shape. And this one used 3 shapes. And this tower here has 3 shapes. the same three shapes. Okay, so that is the lesson for today. You're going to go on. You are going to be able to do the next page on your own.